Hi everyone, welcome back to the part 2 of the end of term explanation videos. If you're new to this channel, a warm welcome to you. I am Justin D'Souza, your math teacher. This is my channel Best Math, where I explain mathematics, math videos and problems in the easy and best way possible. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to it. It would mean a lot to me. And I want to take this time to thank all these subscribers, all the students who like my videos, who share the videos. I'm very grateful for all of you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, guys. Now we will move on to the part 2, the first problem, that is the 11th topic. So now I'm sure you must have learned this method to, identify and graph this classical curves by table method, by all that methods. Now, since this is classical curves, the equations are weird. I will tell you a shortcut method. You might be knowing this, you may not be knowing this, so wait until the end where you can learn a new method, hopefully. Now here, it is very, very crucial to know these standard forms. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve them. See, the standard forms in the polar graphs are varying just by little. So you need to be very cautious. Now, this is simple because you have come across this a lot of times before as well. R equals a cos theta will always be a circle, or even if it's a sine theta. But what is the difference? We know cos theta is relating to x is equal to like this. X is equal to r cos theta. We had this before in unit circle. So now whenever we have cos theta, it will be relating to the x-axis. Now if you look closely, cos theta graphs are always with the x-axis. So it'll be either right side or the left side. How do we know that? It's always in the x-axis, but which side? If a is greater than 0, that means a is positive. If it is plus 1, 2, or just 1 or nothing, positive sign, then it will be in the right side, positive side. Whereas it's negative, then it will be in the left side. That's it. Same way with sine, because we remember from unit circles, x is equal to r sine theta. Sorry, y is equal to r sine theta. Now y is y-axis, so we are dealing with the y-axis. It'll be upside if the value of a is positive, downside if it's negative. This is it. So now what else? Limaçon. So the pronunciation is Limaçon. I believe it's French, or Limaçon. So what about these? There are plenty of these. So even if you don't remember these, I'll tell you a shortcut later on. But now if you see, there's something called cardioid as well. This might, if you're thinking what's a cardioid, cardioid is a Limaçon with a same form, 2 plus, imagine we have 2 cos theta, or it can be sine theta. If it is, look carefully over here, if it is the same a and b values, then we call it as a cardioid. If the value is 2 and 3, then it will be either of these. Okay, then we will look into this in a while. So just remember these standard forms. Then we have roses. Roses standard form is important. It'll always be more than 2. Okay, or 2, sorry. It starts with 2, but generally 2 or more. It can be the cos or sine theta. Now here, what happens is you need to look at this n. If n is an odd number, it does not change the number of petals. If n is 3, for example, it will have 3 petals. If n is 5 or n is 7, it will have the same number of petals. Whereas if it is an even number like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or any of these, you have to multiply it by 2. The number of petals will be 2, over here it will be 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. See, now n was 4, the number of petals are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same way over here, n is 2, it will be 4 number of petals. This is the difference. Please remember the standard form again, and then, okay, sorry for that. Now back over here, lemniscate. Lemniscates are very unique and easy to recognize. Why? Because look at the standard form. It is r square equals a square cos 2 theta. If they give you a problem with r square, you know it's lemniscate. Just that if it is cos theta, it will be along x-axis. Sine theta will be along y-axis. And then we have spiral of Archimedes, one of the most beautiful spirals. Now this standard form is r equals a theta plus b. Now this b can be any number 1, 2, or it may not be even given. So this is it. So now whenever theta is greater than 0, it will go like this. And if it's less than, it will be going the opposite direction altogether. Now, uh, okay. So after this, now what we need to do is realize all these standard forms. Once you understand all the standard forms, just look into the question. They will ask you a question like this. You need to identify the curve by each equation and symmetry 0 and all that. But generally, they're asking graphing for you in the exam. Now, one second, let me just go over here. They ask you the graphs like this in your exam scheme question. So what you can do is looking at this, you can easily find the graph. How? You can do the table method. It's up to you. You can restrict the domain. You can do the table method. And if you want the videos, it's already, I believe it's there in the playlist of the general lessons. You can check it out in the same channel. If you go to the playlist, all the term 3 lessons have been, in detail explanations are there. You can figure it out over there. And you can use the table shortcut, that is using the calculator over here, more 7, and then you can use this function for table, getting the tables. But now I will tell you a easy shortcut. Standard form will be in terms of r square equals 4 square sine 2 theta. This is lemniscate. Since it's sine theta, it will be along the xy line. Now this 4 means the radius. See, it's 4 square, right? From here to here it will be 4. Okay, and then it's sine theta, so obviously the maximum distance would be 4. That's it. So you can easily find it. Otherwise, there's one more method. Take out your calculator, and all you need to do is over here, look at this. This is the you will have 4 graphs, isn't it? Eliminate all the graphs which are not lemniscate. There might be one or two graphs, to maybe one graph like this and one more graph like this. This is for cos theta. You can eliminate that. But in case you have graphs like this only, 2 graphs like this, what do we do? Take any theta value. I will choose the theta value, say over here as pi by 6. Now just put pi by 6 in this equation and take the square root. 16 sine 2 into pi, that is shift and this, by 6. Close the bracket, solve it. What is the value over here? It is 3.7. Now if you're thinking why I put the square root, because over here we need r value, the radius. We don't want r square, so take square root on both the sides. Now 3.7, is it true? Pi by 6, yes, it is almost 3.7. Yes, you can choose any other pi value, you will definitely get the same answer. If you put pi by 2, it'll be 0. If you take, say, pi by 3 or any, you will get the exact answers. So this is how you can solve them easily. If you take, say, pi by 4 over here, you will get this 4 and so on. So please do try it. I'll just change this to pi by 4 and you get 4y, because pi by 4 is over here and this is the answer. So this is how you can directly check which is the correct answer. Only one graph will have all the points matching, and that's your answer. So now over here, similarly, you don't need to do that. You can just realize over here, this is cos theta, circle at the right side because it's positive. The radius is 1 by 3 total. That's it. Here, this is spiral of Archimedes. Now over here, again, you can do the same thing. If you're getting confused on this, okay, how to do it? Let's choose a value. I'll choose pi by 3 for now and put over here r is 4 into, make sure it's in radian mode. If you don't know how to make it radian mode, shift mode and 4. My calculator was already in radian mode, so I did not change it for the previous problem. If you're not getting the answer, it is because of the radian mode. Now 4 into theta, I'm using pi by 3 plus 1. What is the answer? It is 5.18. If you look closely, this is 20, this is 10, and this is somewhat 5. So at pi by 3, it'll be about 5. Now this is not so magnified, but you can check your answers and magnify it. Now, okay, you can't see the magnifying. It's fine. You should just keep adding 2 pi. Over here, I'll just add 2 pi. coterminal angles. You know, this spiral of Archimedes keeps on rolling. See, it keeps on going. Now, if I add 2 pi, I'm going to get this value. Let me check. It should be around 30, I guess. Yes, absolutely. Okay, because it's touching. That's why it was easy to recognize. You can see over here, it's touching this. So 20 and 40 in between is 30. So it was 30.2. Now, similarly, you can test for other values. You will get the same answer. Now, over here, it's just two circles. But if it was one more circle, you can just add 4 pi over here. If you add 4 pi, then it would be 55. Say this would go and it would be over here. So this is how we can easily check the values. Now over here, you don't need to do anything. Just eliminate the other options. That's it. Over here, we have rows. You can easily understand this is 4 means 8 petals will be there. And now over here, this is 2. So the radius would be 2. Over here, this is the 2 value. Same way, please do try the others. This is a cardioid. Over here, it's lemniscate with cos. And again, spiral of Archimedes. You can directly use the shortcut method and find the correct answer. You do not need to graph. You do not need to break your head remembering all that. Just use your calculator, eliminate the options. This is the 11th topic, so you will have 4 options. Eliminate them and choose the correct answer. The 12th topic is to convert equations to rectangular form, and then they have also asked to graph it. Now, it is about equations, but still the coordinate formulas are very handy. This polar conversion to rectangular to polar coordinates. The formula which was r equals square root x square plus y square, or you can consider r square equals x square plus y square. This is important and crucial. And then over here, theta equals tan inverse y by x. So, okay, this is interesting. I'll come to it in a while. Or it'll be either tan theta equals y by x. So these are the basic formulas. Now, whenever x is greater than 0, this is for coordinates only when the radius and the theta is given. If it is greater than 0, it's only this much. If its x value is negative, then we add pi. But now we can ignore that for a while. Over here, these are the formulas. Now, if at all you have sine or say you have cot, then it is 1 by tan. So 1 by tan theta, that would be x by y. Or if you have secant, it's 1 by cos, and then you can easily try and solve it. Now let's go through a few of the basic problems. Generally, these type will be given where angle is theta. So now how would you solve it? So you can take, you know the formula, that is tan theta is y by x. So what you need to do is take tan on both these sides and you will get an equation of tan theta equals tan pi by 6. Now you can solve this. You know, left side is x by y by x. Sorry, it is y by x. Always sine by cos, and sine is y, cos is x. That's y. Okay. So over here, y is basically sine, x is cos, and over here tan theta is y by x. What is tan pi by 6? You can do tan pi by 6. But now remember, if it's in degree mode, you will get in terms of degree. If this is, if it's in degree mode and you put pi, you won't get the correct answer basically. You need to change it to radians. Now you will get this as a proper one. It's a radian. You need to change the mode to radian when you're solving such problem. You will get y by x is equal to root 3 by 3. You know that rectangular equations are always written as y equals some coefficient x. So just take the x to the other side, you will get root 3 by 3. So this is how we solve it. Now graphing is simple. You can graph this by table or many methods. But the easiest of all is just look at this. Theta is equal to pi by 6, right? So since there is no radius given, you have to just draw a straight line from positive and the negative side at pi by 6. That's it. So if it's a graph, you can easily eliminate the other graphs and easily get the correct answer. Let's look at the other type where only radius is given. Now this is again so easy. R is 7. Just draw a circle of 7 centimeters, 7 radius. That's it. Now anyways, technically to solve it is to use the formula. Now since R is known, you know the formula. The closest to R is R squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. Now what do? Square on both. You basically square on both the sides of this equation. Here you'll get r square is equal to 7 square. R square is x squared plus y squared. Don't take x to the other side. Just look at the equation now. We had learned in the last term, the conic section was the chapter name. We had learned the circles, equations of circles and graphing circles. And that is it. So x squared plus y squared is the equation for the circle with the radius root of 49, that is 7. So this is a circle equation. Draw a circle of radius 7. That's it. Or r is 7, so draw a circle at 7. So if the graphs are there, it's very easy. Otherwise, you just substitute and convert. Similarly, you can solve this. Now, if you had watched the last video, the topic number 11, if you've not watched it, I would highly recommend you to pause the video, go back and watch it. You might have recalled over there, if you see certain equations such as r equals a sine theta, it's a circle graph in the vertical axis upside because this is positive. That's it. Otherwise, you can just convert this to x squared y squared and then you can solve it. So just now, whatever we did it over here, same way you can just simplify this because r is there. Or instead of all that, remember this equation and simplify it. It's very, very easy. And now there is one thing over here. If it's theta equals minus pi by 3. We did it. Take tan on both the sides and solve it. Tan is y by x and then simplify. R is 10. It's very simple. They are all direct ones, you know. Even over here, it's the same thing. Now, you must remember if it's tan, cosecant, secant, they're all straight lines. Either you can apply over here. Tan theta is what? Y by x. Take x to the other side and then graph this. Y by x is a linear equation. It will be a straight line. Whereas over here, where it's cosecant, you know what's cosecant? 1 by sine. Sine is just y, isn't it? So basically you solve it. Y is equal to so much. Now, there is one more way. If it's tan over here, you can just take tan inverse 4. Now, here if you keep it in radian, this is in terms of radian. Instead of that, make it in degree. So it's much easier for us to understand. It's 75.96. Can you see this? From 0, this is 60. It's just in the middle. Yes, it's about 75, 76 degrees. So this is one more way to easily find it out. So it's up to you. There are various ways. Otherwise, you can just plug in some values. Now, plug in some theta values over here and you will get the radius, the exact same radius. Now, if you put 0 over here, you can change this to 1 by sine and solve it. You will get these values. So there are various methods, various tricks. You know, from if you watch the videos in continuity, you will realize there are so many methods to directly find the correct graphs. You can use any of it. Otherwise, you can just see the straightforward solving method using formulas. That is also possible. Anyhow, you will get the same answer. Please make sure you solve them by yourselves and then check the answers. So these are the answers. The 13th topic is to convert complex numbers into polar form. It is very important to know a few of the basic formulas before we get into the topic. That is the polar form or the trigonometric form of a complex number. This is important because z equals r cos theta plus I sin theta. This is how your answer must be. And then this is basically the absolute value formula. And then we also need to know the argument. Argument is basically the angle theta. So these are the formulas for r, or the radius or the absolute value, which is given by absolute z. It's square root of a square plus b square, where a is r cos theta, b is r sin theta, where theta is the angle, can be found out by tan inverse b by a. Now remember carefully, there is an important thing. If the value of a is negative, we had seen in the last video the same thing over here. If the value of a is negative, we must add pi. Now sometimes we consider this a as x and b as y. It's the same thing, tan inverse y by x, but however it is given. Now let's see a problem. We can write this whatever is given to us can be expressed as a plus bi. That means the first term, a value is -6 and b value is 8. And now we can use the formula of absolute value, that is r equals root of a square plus b square, and solve for r. That is, the radius is 10. Okay, what is remaining? The theta value is remaining, but look over here, the angle is also called as argument. The angle is, a value is negative, so angle tan inverse b by a plus pi is very important. This can be pi or 180 degree because it's one and the same. Now just type it in the calculator, you will get the values. So now tan inverse 8 divided by -6, close the bracket, plus pi. Now, since my calculator is in radian mode, I don't need to worry. Otherwise, you need to press shift, mode, and 4 because I'm using pi. This is the radians. Theta is 2.21 radian. Now, all you need to do is write it in this form. Most of the time, most of your answers, almost all your answers are always in radian mode, not in degree. If you want to convert this to degree or to divide by 180, write it in terms of pi, big procedure. So just convert your calculator to radians and solve it up. Now write the values over here. Z or Z will be same. R is found out to be 10. Cos, what is the theta value? 2.21. I sine 2.21. This is it. You can check your answer. This is the simple way to check. Whatever answer you got, just solve this. First, multiply this 10 inside. What's going to happen? It will be 10 multiplied by cos of 2.21. It should be in radian mode because this is in radians, and solve it. It is, now we have not considered all the values, so that's why it's almost 6. Really, if you take more values, about 4, it'll be 5.99 minus 5.999. It is almost equivalent to 6. And even over here, because we are rounding off, it may not be accurate. So it's 8.0, it should be 8.000 something. If you take more decimal values, you'll get 8.000 and then some values. But if you take the exact value, then you will get the exact answer. So that's it. Now over here we added pi. Let's see a value with positive a. Same procedure. Find the a and b value and then now use the absolute value formula. Find the radius r. R is 11.4, and now we need to find the angle or the argument just by using the formula theta is tan inverse b by a. Now you'll get tan inverse 7 by 9. The answer is 0.6. Again in radian mode, tan inverse 7 by 9. The value is 0. See, now there is so many other points which we are not considering. So while checking, it will not be accurate enough. Now all you need to do is put it in this form, and that's it. Now I will show you over here. If you multiply this 11.4 into cos answer, which was just the theta value, it'll be more accurate. Still it is not accurate. Why? Because this is also not accurate enough. So I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. See, you will get, if you put this first part, you will get the question back. It's almost close, but it's not exact value. If you change the size, change it to sine as well, you should get the I part. That is over here. It's almost close, but not the exact, because we don't consider all the decimal points. But now anyways, this is how we solve it. That is it. That's the procedure. Now this is your answers. You can even check directly your answers. See, now these same method you can solve. Now always remember, the first part, the cos part, is the real part and I is the imaginary part, which is given in sine. Okay, now you will have many options, so solve it by yourself and then check the answers. Now see, for example, over here, this one, it's in pi by 4 and it's 4 root 2. You can check the answer just by multiplying 4 root 2 into cos pi by 4. And the answer must be equal to 4. That's it. And sine also must be equal to 4. Now this is a check, but see, the thing is, let me try over here. It may not work exactly because Now root 5 times sine 2.68. 2.68. Now over here it is 0.995. It's almost 1, but it's not exact. But if you do it for all the four values, you will get some answers which is very close to, this is very close to 1, so I'll consider it to 1. And if I change it to cos, it must be close to -2. So cos, it's almost -2. So this is one way to directly find the answer if you cannot do all the methods. Now imagine in the exam you forgot the argument formula, that is theta is tan inverse, or you got confused with a negative value and all that. Then you can directly do this, or you forgot the modulus value. So then you can do this. But try to follow this method. It's very simple. All you need to do is the modulus or absolute value. It's the same thing, this formula, then the argument. If A is positive, just so much. If A is negative, you need to add pi and then write this polar form formula. If not, just look into all your four options and then start solving each of them and see which gives you the question. Only one will be the correct answer, others can be ignored. See this, sometimes it will be +2, so you should remember when you multiply you must get this exact value. Only one option will be correctly giving you this question back. So this is how we can do it. Please do solve these problems by yourselves, practice them and then check the answers. Don't directly see these answers. After you listen to the explanation, solve them and then practice and then refer to these answers. Let us now move to the next topic, that is topic number 14. It is to determine whether sequences are convergent or divergent, the different types of sequence. Now you will be given this question. This is an explicit form, a formula or explicit equation is given. All you need to do is find the terms. Find the terms starting from 1 initially. Find few terms. Over here 8 terms are found out. How do we find the terms? Very simple. You need just to put some values of n and find the terms. Now over here, let's start with 1. Solve it, plus 12. You will get the answer 9. And then you can just keep changing this to 2, 3, and so on. 3 over here. And you can realize the sequence is arithmetic. It's from 9, 6, 3, 0, -3, and so on. You're keeping on subtracting -3. That's it. Now, when you need to graph this because it's very hard for you to just look at this and tell. But yes, you can understand from here, the values are just decreasing. Isn't it? It just keep on going downwards. So what is that sequence? It is a diverging sequence. What does divergent and convergent mean? Convergent means it is coming close to something. It is coming like this, converging to some, becoming one basically. If two roads are converging, they keep on coming closer and they join and become the same road. They just become the same road, and wherever they go, it'll be the same road. But initially there were two separate roads and then they converge to become one. Two branches becoming one. Whereas divergent is other way around. It's two things that never comes together. They will never touch each other. One thing is just going other side and one more thing is other side. They don't have, they are never going to come together and join or become one. So over here you can see this is a divergent. It just keeps on decreasing. That's it. Even without graphing you can easily understand. So this was a divergent sequence. Now over here we have another question where we have say this one, first term, and then why the first term is given, because over here they have given a recursive formula. Recursive means you need to know the previous term to find the next one. In the last problem I told this is an explicit form. Why? Because you can use any n value and get any term. I can get a7 just by putting n as 7. But over here, can I directly get a7 in this? A7 will be equal to -12 a to the power 7 minus 1. That's why I need to know A6 initially. Then I can find the next term. That is called a recursive, repetitive recursive. Whereas if you directly can find any term, it is explicit. Now that knowledge is required further on, but for now we will just start solving the terms. How do you solve the terms? Very simple. They have given you the first term, so don't put this as 1. You need to start from the next term. If I need to solve for a2, it will become negative half n minus 1, that is 2 minus 1 becomes 1, so half of 1. So basically you're halving it, sorry, divided by 2, or you can just write multiply 1 by 2. I forgot the negative sign. Okay, let me just type it as it is. It is negative half multiplied by 36. Now it is 18. Next term, if you are to find the A3, you need to multiply negative half with the previous term, that is 18. But this time it will be negative 18. So what happens over here? It will be minus 18. And the answer is 9. Then you have to multiply 9. It becomes 4.5, then 2.25, and then it just reduces. So now over here, if you look at it, you will get some negative values, some positive values. That's fine. But if you plot those points, what's happening? There is a variation, huge variation. It's jumping up, down, but eventually it'll come close towards 0. So here the R value, the common ratio we got is half, isn't it? It's basically negative half. So this, whenever is between 0 to 1, it will be a convergent basically. So what happens is it will come close to a single value. See over here, this is, if you keep on finding the values, it will be 0.000 some values. So it is almost corresponding to 0. Both the, it's coming to a single value basically, and we can tell it's closing on to 0. So that's why it is convergent series over here. Now we will do one more over here. It's very straightforward. You need to find the values. You can just, this is an explicit form, so just put in values. A1, put 1 over here instead of n. You'll find this. A2, put the value. You'll find a few values. Just find some random few values. And now plot them. You can see whenever there is odd numbers, it is having negative values, whereas even numbers, it is positive values. Let us plot them. Over here, now, think for a while, is it a convergent or a divergent? Because it's coming over here close to same value. It's coming to 0.2444, I guess. And over here also around that same line. So what do you think is this? If you have thought this is convergent because it's coming towards the same value, it's not coming to a single value. It's not coming towards same. Both are not coming same. They're going in different ways. They're diverging from each other. So this is divergent. Why? Because they both are not coming to the same point, whereas they are just diverting and they are in their own ways over here. So that is divergent. The sequence is divergent. Similarly, you can try this. Find in some of the values over here. The equation is given. Now what you need to do, put in the A1 and find the next term. So if you want to find A2 over here, that is 1.5 times A1, because n minus 1. So you will find plenty of values. Let me just show you. It'll be 1.5 times 4. And now for the next value, you should just change the 4 to 6. And then it'll be 9. Now, since the R value over here is more than 1, keep on finding new answers. Now I'll just change this to answer because it'll just keep on give you the new values. So what's happening? It just keeps on increasing. It's not stable. It is diverging. If you plot a graph, it just keeps on increasing like this. It just keeps on going up. This is a divergent. Same way, you need to find all the others and you will come to know what's the answers. This would be convergent, I believe, because over here you have divided by, it's half, not half, the R value. If you find values and then plot, you will come to know. So please do it by yourself and then check for the answers over here. You can graph them and then easily find which is divergent and convergent. So this is it. Don't worry about, oh, this is a big equation. No, it's very simple. All you need to do is find the terms, find at least 6 to 8 terms, and then you will get a better picture. Just don't find 4 values and tell, okay, I know this. No, find some values, maybe 8 to 10 values, or at least 6 values, and then you will get an idea. If you just plot the points, you can briefly understand what is the graph, and then you can tell what is convergent and what is divergent. Solve them by yourselves and then check for the answers over here. That's the end. If you have any doubts, please put them in the comment section, and in the next video we will go to the topic number 15. We now move on to the 15th topic, which is the easiest among all topics in the part 2. Now, there are plenty of ways to find the arithmetic series using the formula and everything, but for now, in the other type of problems, you have to use the formula. But in this case, when the summation is given, you do not need this. You can directly solve using calculator. I will show you the calculator method directly. All you need to do is use the summation, that is shift and this symbol, and then write this as it is. But you do not have the variable k, you need to add the variable x minus 2, and it starts from 1 until 16. You're finding the sum from the terms 1 to 16. For this particular equation, the answer is 512. Similarly, you can find the other answers. Just use shift and this symbol, and then all you need to do is type in the equation. Let me try this equation, for example. Minus 3. There is no k. You need to add x plus 2, and then type 0 to 12. All you need to do is press equal to, the answers are there. So do try it by yourself and then check for the answers. One of the easiest topic, because that is it. See you in the next topic. We will move on to the 16th topic. This is on geometric sequences. Now, the formula for the nth term of geometric sequence is given as an equals a1 r to the power n minus 1. Now, we need to apply that formula and solve the geometric means. Now, I'll tell you what is geometric means. Now, geometric means basically means, okay, there's lots of means, the terms within it. So now if you start from 2 and 1, 2, 5, 0, I have to find 3 geometric means. That means 3 terms within it. See, in your questions, you might get like this, or you might get like this, like question marks. So over here, you can see there are 3 geometric means. Over here also, they have asked 3 geometric means. Now, this is your starting term, or the first term, a1. Since there are 3 geometric means, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is your an or a5, and we need to find the remaining terms. But how can you find the terms without knowing the d value, that is the common difference value? It is very simple. You can use the nth term formula. So n is equal to 5. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can also do, this is the first and the last term that is given to us. And they have told 3 more terms needs to be solved. So n is 5. To find the r, the step 2, you need to do this formula. That is the nth term of a geometric sequence. An is equal to the first term, a1 is the first term, multiplied with r, r is the geometric ratio, and then power n minus 1. Now, all you need to do is substitute, because we know the an value is 1250, and that is the 5th term. That's why n is 5 minus 1. What is the first term? That is 2. You can directly put it in the calculator and solve this. You can directly do it. But if not, you know how to do it. Instead of r, you can put x, and then just type it entirely and press shift and solve. You'll get the answer. It is 1250. You can type this in calculator, press shift and solve. You will get the answer directly. Otherwise, if how to do it is simplify this. Take the 2 to the other side, it will be divided by 2, so you'll get 625. 5 minus 4 is 5 minus 1 is 4, and cube, not radical, fourth power of radical, 4 root 4 on both the sides will give you r. Over here it will be plus or minus, because this is an even power. So that means now there is a problem. Not a problem. there is plus or minus r. Why? Because this power was even. Whenever you take even root like this, if it's 2, 4, 6 of any number, you must remember that when you solve this, it'll be plus or minus answer. Okay, so therefore the r can be either positive 5. If it is positive 5, multiply 2 times 5, you're going to get 10. Again, 10 times 5, you can see over here positive 5 is multiplied and you're getting this answers. But what about the minus 5? It might be minus 5 as well, so you need to have both these answers. So this is it. I'll just recall over here. The root, the power is even power. Whenever you use the radical to remove even power, there will be plus or minus. If this was odd, say r to the power 3, then you're solving, say, 27. This would be just 3. Or if it was minus 27, it can have, okay, it should be 3 over here. It can have negative values inside the radical as well. If it's odd power, it would be minus 3. It's not plus or minus, it's separate. So this is the thing. Now, the geometric means are these. So you can try this by yourselves and then check for the answers. You can see there will be even power and you will get these answers. Why? Because there is 5 terms. N is all 5 over here. The power will be n minus 1. The power will always be 4 when it is odd terms. Okay. Now here you can see there are how many 2 geometric means. That means A1 is 3. AN is 375. All you need to do is put it in the formula and solve. It will be 375 equals 3 r to the power. Now, there are 4 terms, 2 geometric means and the starting and the last term. This is a power 4. An is a4, sorry. Because the 4th term, it'll be 4 minus 1. This r is cubed, so then you don't get plus or minus, you'll just get the answer. Now since it's positive over here, you will just get positive answer. So that's the thing over here. Since the first number was negative, this will be minus. You will get a negative and you should keep on multiplying. Do solve them just like what you have seen over here in this detailed method. Just change the values over here and solve, and you will get the answers. So that's it for this topic. Please stay tuned for the next topic. The 17th topic is on geometric series. You will have to find the terms over here. You know the series means summation. There are 2 formulas for series. It depends whether the first term must be there. First term and the common ratio must be there. But if n value is given, then you can use this summation formula. Whereas if an, the nth term is given, this is the summation formula. You need to remember these formulas. They are very important. Sn means summation for the nth term. What exactly does that mean? Now let's take a geometric series. 1 plus 2, where r is 2. I'm just multiplying by 4. Okay, let us stop it over here. Now, this keeps on going, right? 1, 2, 3, it's infinite. But we can find the sum. Say if I tell s of 2, that means sum of these 2 terms, 2 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. If I tell s of 4, that is all the summation of all these numbers which I've written, 8 plus 4, 12, 14, 15. But what if I tell you summation of 21? It's very hard. You can't sum it, right? So with the information of r, the first term, and you can directly, and the n value, the which term, that is the n is 21 over here. So you can easily find the summation. So that is why we are using this. Now let us look into the problem. They are very, very simple and straightforward. You're supposed to find the first term, that is a1 in the geometric series, for which they have given the summation Sn, n and r. Look over here. They have given Sn, Sn, n and r. That is, this formula must be used. Why? Because we don't have an, right? They have given the SN. Summation is given, n is given, r is given. All you need to know is to choose the correct formula. See, the first one is the correct formula in this case. So how do you know that? You need to memorize all the formulas. I mean, not all, just two formulas over here. In the first formula, you can see A1 minus A1Rn. So whenever there is again A1 repeated, R to the power nth term is there. Whereas in the other formula, it's A1 minus An and only R, there is no power. So that is the difference. So over here, use the first formula and now just do the substitution. 13116, that is 13,116, and A1 is unknown. Fine, but R is known to be 3, N is 7, and just substitute and solve. You can directly solve it in the calculator as well over here. You can just use the calculator. Now, type this as it is. 13116 equals A1 is unknown. Let's put X minus X into 3 to the power 7 divided by 1 minus 3, sorry, 3 to the power 7 divided by 1 minus 3, it's minus 2. Or you can write it as it is. Shift and solve will give you the answer. The answer is 12. So that is it. So it's very simple, and it's the 17th topic. So directly use the calculator, you will get the answer. So understanding which formula to use is very, very crucial. So you can simplify as it is, like with the simplification, you will get the same answer. Here, I just want to note that A1 and A1 is common, so A1 is removed out. That's why we are getting this, and then we simplify it. We will look into some of these problems. Now, here you can see there's a difference. Here, they have given R and N. N is given. Here, AN is given. Here you need to use the first formula. Here you need to use the second formula. In the second formula, it is A1 minus ANR. Whereas in the, I'm telling about the numerator, and it's 1 minus R. It's this one. Second is AN. See, AN is required. So remember this. And what do we do in the first one? It is same like this, but only thing is it'll be, this part will change to A1 RN. That's the difference. So remember which formula to substitute. Do the same substitution, you will get the answer. Please check your answers over here, but do them by yourselves because they are very easy, very straightforward. Write the formula, do the substitution, and directly put in the calculator, and you will get the answers. Moving on to the 18th topic, it is again on geometric sequence and series, but now we are dealing with infinite geometric series. Now, what is infinite geometric series? So say, for example, I have R value of phi, and the first term, this is R, and I have the first term 1. The terms would be 1, phi, 25, 125, and you can start finding the other terms. It'll be 625 and so on. It goes on, right, till infinity. Can you find the sum? Can I find the entire sum of this? No, it's not possible, right? But let me change this. Okay, that was bad. Let me remove only these, and the R, let me make it to 0.5 instead of 5. Now the first term is 1, next will be 0.5, next will be 0.25, 0.125, 0.625, and it goes 0.0625 again. Yeah, and it goes on. So what is happening? It is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. It becomes nearly 0. Now imagine there's a cake. Imagine there's a cake. So you can cut it into half, right? And we can cut this again into half, and this again into half, again one more half. How many times can you cut into halves? You can go infinite. And if you start adding the weights, what is the total? Now imagine first was 1 kg, half kg, quarter, 125 grams, then 67.5 grams, and it keeps on reducing, right? So, but still, you can add all those sums and you should get a total of 1 kg itself. So what you understand over here is, if the R value, certain R values, you can find the sum. That is, if the R value is less than 1, it must be less than 1, or less than, it can't be equal to 1 because then it would be the same number. It should be less than 1. But what if I have negative 2? It's less than 1, but still it doesn't work, right? Because it'll be huge, huge, huge numbers. That also doesn't make sense, because if I have 1, next one would be minus 2, next would be plus 4, minus 8. Doesn't make sense. So this also, it's not possible to find sum. So R value must be, the magnitude of R value must be less than 1. That means it can be negative 0.5, negative positive 0.5, fine. But it can't be more than this one number, in the sense you can't have negative 1.1. No, this is not going to work. You won't have a sum. So only when R value is in this constraint, you can find the sum. And the geometric series, infinite geometric series formula is given by S equals A1 divided by 1 minus R. That's it. Now we will see a problem. Look at this. These are the terms given. First step is find the R value. How do you find R? Term 2 divided by the term 1. Divide this term. You can use your calculator directly and find it. So you just have to do 6 divided by 15. And again, you can divide this by 2/3. And the answer is 3 by 5. 3 by 5 means 0.6. So this is less than 1. Okay, this does obey this rule, and therefore now we can find the formula using, we can find the sum using the formula, that is S equals the first term divided by 1 minus the common ratio. Now all you're doing is substituting and get the answer. The answer over here is 2, over here it is 5/3. You can directly find the answer. Just put everything in the formula. It's 2 by 3 divided by 1 minus 3 divided by the fraction symbol 5. The answer will be directly 5/3. So if you sum the sequence, you'll get 5/3. Now let's look into one more similar problem. Here, 6, 9, 13.5. Just looking at this, you can tell there is no answer for this, right? Why? Because the R value is greater than, it's 1.5, it's greater than 1. If you want, you can try this. This, whatever you do, will be in, it's minus 1.5, and over here it is 6. This 12, let's see, is it correct? The A1, now this is the same formula, A1 divided by 1 minus R. So R value was how much? 1.5. A1 is 6. Is this correct? No, it's wrong. This doesn't make sense. Why? Because the R value was more than 1. This is divergent series. The other times, whenever the R value is less than, when it follows this rule, it will converge to one single point. Therefore, we can find the series. Whereas this is just diverging either down or up, or two different values where we cannot solve. So there is no sum. Similarly, try all these problems by yourselves and then check for the answers. Please pause and do it by yourself. I'll show you the answers now. The sum doesn't exist for these two, and then the answers, the last one also no sum, and these are the answers. Please solve them by the method which I just now told you, and then verify your answers. Now we move on to the 19th topic. It is one of the most trickiest topic, but there is a shortcut method. So wait till the end. You can easily solve this and easily get marks for this. But let me show you the exact and natural method how to do this. So it is about recognizing and using special sequences. If it is just recognizing and using special sequence, it's okay. You can do it. And then finding a recursive formula for that, it's a bit hard. Now, if it is a just normal arithmetic sequence or a geometric sequence, you have the recursive formula over here. These are the ones. If you're thinking, what is formulae? Formulae is plural for formula. Now, if it is one formula, we just call it formula. That E denotes many, like many kanun. So like that. That's formulae. Anyways, over here, an equals an minus 1 plus d. As you can see over here, d is common difference, and that is for arithmetic sequence. R is for the common ratio geometric sequence, geometric recursive formula. But let's do these problems. It's very simple. You should see which sequence these are. Obviously, by now you know this is an arithmetic sequence because over here 8 is being added throughout and the d value is 8. And all you need to do is write the recursive formula like this, because in arithmetic sequence, the previous term is added by d, common difference, and you get the next term. So over here, just mention for this sequence, the starting term is a1. The first term is crucial. That's it. Now the next one over here is a geometric sequence because it's not arithmetic. If you start dividing, you find the same number over here. Start dividing 2 and you can divide other ones also. You will find it is having a common ratio of 3.5. So if you multiply 16 by 3.5, keep on multiplying, you'll get this answer. You will get this sequence. So then all you need to do is recursive formula for geometric sequence, r times an minus 1. Only r is the substitution. That is it, that's the answer. But you need to write the first term, a1 is 16. So you need to mention that over here. This is easy. Arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence. But what about these? Now, for example, over here, the common difference 7, but no, it's not the same. Is it being multiplied? No, it's not the same multiplication. What are we doing over here? These are all crazy. Now, it took me really a long time to figure out few of these, and some of them it was so hard for me because now who would know cubic numbers? I mean, I then realized it because the difference is too much. It should have been cubic, but initially I couldn't figure this out. I figured out this one because this was similar to square and it was near to squares. It is something square minus 1 because 2 over here you get 4, then 16 minus 1, 225. And this was okay to figure out. But many of them, these, it takes time. It takes a lot of time and it gets confusing. See, the answers are so ridiculous, right? How do we know this? Now, what you need to do is, first of all, you will have 4 options because this is in part B. So you need to match this A1. I'm sure almost all the options will have the A1 as the first term itself. So this is very important, A1, okay. What about the next thing? It's very hard for you to manually find out the exact, say for example, exact sequence. What you can do is you just put this A and start solving the numbers. You need to take out your calculator. Select one of the terms in the 4 options. Select one of the term. Now I will choose this one. All you need to do is instead of an, start with the first term. Oh, okay, over here there is one important thing. They have not written an minus 1 or anything. They have just written as n plus 1. It is similar to this. This is as equivalent as an equals to an minus 1 plus 2. Because over here it's 1 extra and this is the previous term. So it's just the same. Don't worry. Now if you're substituting the first term over here a1, over here will be a2. So it's the same thing. So now to find the next term of the sequence, all you need to do is substitute the first term, 2 into 3 plus 2. Are you getting the answer? Okay, yes, but you might get for more than 1 or 2 options the same thing. Which is the correct answer then? Then instead of an, you can just change and put the next term, 8. Am I getting it correct? Yes. Again, change this term, put the 18 number. Whichever sequence, other sequences will just give you wrong after 1 or 2 tries. So whichever sequence give you the correct answer is the correct one. Another way is, if there are plenty of numbers, say for example over here, 1 divided by 4 into, first time you must write the first term, 32 plus 4. Okay, now when I press equal to, I'll get 12. Now instead of changing it all the time, what I can do is I can just remove this and put the answer, because the saved answer is 12. I'm getting 7. And now this will be saved as answer. If I press equal to, I'll get the next answer. Same way I can find many number of sequences. Now this is the thing about it. So I hope this is okay. So here you can see there is a common ratio and something else. So it is not very easy to find out. It will take time, especially in such cases. So just put the first value. You will have the sequence. You will have four options. Put the first value over here and find the next term. And do it for a while and you will find only one correct answer. So the same thing over here, because now, for example, over here, 4 times an minus 3, it's hard. It's not impossible. You can, but it'll take a long time to do it. So that's why use the shortcut method, which is very easy, and you will get it very soon. So this is it for that topic number 19. I hope this is clear. I'll repeat the shortcut method again, just quickly recap. You will have four options. It is very hard to find the exact recursive formula just with the question. So use the four options, substitute the first term in the option over here where an or an minus 1 is there, and then find the next term. Substitute the first term, find the next term. If you get this next term, try again for 2 to 3 terms. Only one correct answer will give you all the exact terms, whereas all the other wrong answers may give you one term correct, but others will be wrong. That's it. So see you in the next topic with the next video. We now move on to the 20th topic, which is the last topic in the part 2. This is the last topic where you will have MCQs. So next part will be the writing part. Only 3 questions. Now we will look into the part 2 last question. That's 20th one. Using binomial theorem. Now, I hope you remember the theorem, binomial theorem. There are 2 formulas. We will just look into this one because this down one is just the expansion of NC0 NCR. So instead of NCR expansion, we can directly use the calculator, or the formula is very simple, n factorial divided by the r factorial into n minus r factor whole factorial. But if you're getting confused, you can just do it in calculator. But the thing is, you need to know this formula. How do you remember this? So you need to remember it starts with NC0. Now you need to write this N, C, and 0. You need to memorize this. And then A will start with the first N value and B will be the 0th value. So this is it. If you remember the first term, then the next corresponding terms are very easy because you should just keep on, N does not change. Only the 0 keeps on changing, and this N minus N power N reduces by 1. Now it will be again N, C, instead of 0 you will have 1, A, N minus 1, B, 1. Yes, that's it. And then it keeps on going like the same. But you must remember when to stop. When this number that C1, 2, 3 matches the N value. Imagine you had 4. Then when you get C4, you have to stop because over here it will be 4 minus 4. It's 0 and B will be 4 or A power 0. Whenever this you reach this, you will have to stop. We will see a problem. You'll understand how easy it is to solve. You will have, say like this, the 2 terms are given a binomial this is binomial terms because you will have to expand by binomial theorem, which is for binomials basically. But now if you're doing this by multiplication, you have to multiply 7 times and it's going to take an enormous amount of time. So what you do now is basically use the formula. So write the formula first, understand it. You don't need to write everything. You can directly write the substitution over here. How do you do is, see, n is how much? Is the power. N is 7. It starts with 7 now. That does not change. It's 7 till the end. Now you start with 0, 7c0. Which is the first term? It is x to the power 7, that is a. The next term will be power 0, that is 1. So you don't need to write it. Okay, because power 0 is nothing. It'll become 1, sorry. And then 7c1, x will reduce by 1, so x power 6, 2z to the power 1. Same way, 7c2 minus 2 from 7 will be 5, and then 2z 2. So you can always just check the minus sign over here. 7 minus 3 is how much? 4. So x must be 4. And what is the second value? 3. This must match. 7 and minus 4 is 3. This much match with the b value. Same way, 7 minus 5 is 2, and this must match. 7 minus 6 is 1, this must match. And whenever it's 7 and 7, it's 0, so you don't write it. This is it. Now you can expand it further. How do you expand is, see, that C values, you can just use calculator. You should use shift, and then you can use this division symbol. You will get the C value. But remember, beside this, whatever is left side must be written before it, 7, and whatever is in the right side is written next. The answer is 1. Same way, you can just keep changing the values and get the answer. Now let me check for phi, it's 25. So 7c over here, you got 25. Then 7c6, it'll be 1, sorry, 7, and then 7c6 over here is 7, and then 7c7. Okay, let's do 7c7. It'll be 1. Yeah, sorry, it'll, yeah, 7c7 will be 7, sorry. Okay, it's 1. I'm also getting confused. I'm so sorry. 7c7 over here is 1. Whenever you have 7c1, it starts with 7 like that. Okay. Anyways, it's very easy if you start to understand it. It's very easy. There's a pattern you can easily remember. I'm just getting confused now. But anyways, so that's how we get it. Over here, you start with 7c0, it'll be 1, and you end with 7c7, it'll be 1. Now, what about these other numbers? They are these numbers. See over here, the coefficient is there, right? Those, see 2z, 2 squared is 4. Over here, 2 cube is 8, and 2 to the power 4 is 16, and so on, okay? 2 to the power 7 is 128. Why we don't write anything over here? Because it's 1. So that's the thing. And then this power over here with z, all you need to do is multiply these terms now. 35 times 8, 35 times 16, all this just in calculator, and you will get. But now see over here, they have just asked for the third term. Sorry, I forgot to do that. It's only for third term. So why do you want to multiply all the terms and find? So just stop over here. Once you apply the formula, it's enough. Once you need to know the formula and substitution, then it's enough. All you need to do is look for the third term. You can stop at this method only, this step itself, but this is just for your understanding. And count the third term. That is 1, 2, 3. This is the third term, right? Just write the third term and solve it. It'll be 4 times 21 is 80, 81, 84, sorry. X to the power 5 and z squared. That's it. So that is how you solve for the third term or any given term. Now you can see over here they have just told you to expand. That means you have to just do the entire expansion. Same thing, use the formula over here. It ends at 4c4. See, this is the answer. Sorry, this is the stopping point. It starts with 4c0. And now all the terms, this is a term. Use bracket when there is more than one term. Always. And even if there is negative, use bracket. Now this minus over here, see in the previous one it was plus. So we didn't bother about the sign. Here it's minus. You must write it along with the next term b. So this term b will be minus 60. Same way include the minus sign everywhere over here. And then you need to just simplify this in calculator. Then you can multiply them. And just simplification and you will get the answer. Now they have just told you to expand over here just expansion, so we have just left it as it is. But if they are told any particular term, just choose that term and then solve it. So once you substitute, you can stop, and if they have told third term, just choose the third term, or fifth term, just choose the fifth term. Sorry, that's the one. So that's how we do it. Here, same way, please do try it by yourself. So 1 or 2 is done. This one was done, I guess, but others you need to do it by yourself. If they have told seventh term, after substitution, count carefully. How do you count is, say now we after substitution 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The plus sign demarks the different terms. Okay, this is entirely single term, whichever. Okay, so that's how you count it and you just solve it. Here are the answers. Please do it by yourself and then check for the answers. So this is the end of the part 2. Now, in the next part, it'll be writing part, which will, there are only three questions, but you need to write the steps. You can't do the calculator method or shortcut methods. So please stay tuned for the next videos. I will try to do them as soon as possible. And one more thing is, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any other doubts or anything, you can put them in the comment section. I'm trying to get these videos as soon as possible, so please, a little bit of patience, but I'll try to do it at my best pace. Thank you, guys.